What is going on, pimps and players? It's me, Namejamie, and today I'm going to be doing a quest guide on the brand new quest, Sins of the Father. The skill requirements for this quest are 62 woodcutting, 60 fletching, 56 crafting, 52 agility, 50 slayer, 50 attack, and 49 magic. The quest requirements for this guide are a Taste of Hope and Vampire Slayer. The inventory setup for this quest is as follows: 5k coins, 1 ruby, 1 cosmic rune, 5 fire runes, 1 pickaxe, Mauritania legs 3, 1 Draven staff, the Draken's medallion, a handful of house teleports, 1 hammer, 1 chisel, 1 woodcutting axe, 1 knife, and around 10 sharks. Now, there will be times during the video where I don't have all these specific items in my inventory, and that's because I was doing this on release before anyone knew what to bring. But I promise you that it's in your best interest to bring all this stuff at the beginning, because if you do, you won't have to go back and get anything. The gear setup for this guide is very basic. Bring your best D-hide tops and bottoms, and the rest basic strength bonus gear, so a fire cape, a berserker ring, and so on. It is important to note that you need to bring the flail. This is not an option, you must bring it. And I highly suggest you bring a whip for some of the fights and also a serp helm for one of them. But overall, if you wear this gear, you won't ever have to change your gear for the rest of the quest. It will serve as your universal gear for the entire guide. To start this quest, teleport with your medallion to Raids 2. Then run north to Sleepy. In Sleepy, go slightly outside the church and speak to Hertz. He will ask you if you want to accept the quest, and you will say yes. Next, go into the church and speak to Jester. Ask him about the sickness. After this conversation, head slightly southeast to the pub. Once you're there, speak to Carl and ask him where they got the bloody bracers from. After that conversation, head out back to inspect the barrel. Once you inspect the barrel, a small cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, you have to follow Carl for a short amount of time. During this time, he will periodically turn around to check his surroundings. Simply hide behind any object and he will not see you. I recommend using the same spots I use in the video just to be safe. After you successfully follow Carl, a cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, you will be fighting the first mini-boss of this quest. Don't bother using overhead prayers as he will just swap attack styles. Simply put on your whip and piety and you should have no problem with this fight, especially if you're wearing the gear I recommended. After the fight, break both of his tables and then leave through the gate you came through. Once back upstairs, report to Hertz with your findings. After talking to Hertz, use your house teleports to head back to your POH. Next, put on your Draymond staff and access your fairy ring. Enter in the code CKS. If you do not have a fairy ring, hopefully you have a mounted glory and you can teleport to Edge. There is a fairy ring near that teleport. After you teleport, head northwest and enter the tunnel. Head in a little bit and there you should find Hertz. Speak to him and spam through the dialogue. Make sure during this dialogue you choose option 2, I see, that's why you want to keep him safe. After this convo, we need to head just south of Frankenstein's castle. Either run there on the path I show, or teleport there with your POH. Once you are there, you should see Ivan. Speak with him and another cutscene should occur. After the cutscene, spam through the dialogue with them and then teleport back to the same fairy ring using the code CKS. Again, head slightly north and you should see Ivan waiting there for you. Speak to him and tell him you are ready to start the journey. This journey is like a reverse temple track for those of you who are familiar with the minigame. In the first area, use your knife on the tree vine 3 times. Then combine the vines into a rope. Use the rope on the low-hanging branch to swing across and exit the area. In the next area, equip your whip and kill all 3 monsters. You can use piety and overheads too if you would like. After they are dead, move on to the next area. In the next area, use your axe and cut all 3 dead trees. Then use those logs to fix the bridge in the middle and cross it. Once across, exit the map into the final area. In this area, equip your flail and start killing the 2 vampires. You can use piety and overheads here as well, and you can spec the vampires after they are lower than 50% HP. After they both disappear, leave the final stage and you should be in Burg de Rot. Once there, Ivan should run off. After he does, head southeast to the dock. There, you should find Ivan and Hertz. Speak to them and then take the boat to the graveyard. Once at the graveyard, it should prompt you to speak to Hertz and Ivan again, and then a small cutscene should occur. After the cutscene, spam through the dialogue and then click on the door to access the puzzle. This puzzle is different for everyone, so I'm going to explain how it works so you can solve it on your own. To start, you are given a blank 5x5 grid with 2 numbers at the end of each row and column. The number in parentheses is your current sum of that row or column, and the number not in parentheses is that row and column's target number, or the number you're trying to get to by adding the other numbers. So when you click a blank square in any of the row or columns, a small Saradomin cross appears over that square, signifying that that square is active. Additionally, that number's sum is added to both the row and column's sum total, aka the number in the parentheses. Once you understand this concept, the name of the game becomes having all of the rows and columns target numbers, aka the numbers not in parentheses, hit by using the different combinations of numbers in each row and column. Now, the easiest way I think to solve this puzzle is by figuring out the top row first and then the last 2 columns. By doing this, you should give yourself enough information to figure out the rest of the rows and columns very easily. Additionally, another easy way to solve the puzzle is by solving the highest row number first and the lowest column number second, and that should give you enough information as well to solve the rest of the puzzle. Worst case scenario, you give it a few tries and then figure it out through process of elimination. After you solve it, a small cutscene should appear. Spam through the dialogue of the cutscene and then you'll be outside. Once you are outside, talk to Veniscula. She will tell you to talk to each member in the graveyard. Make sure you follow the exact order I talk to the members, as it is important. After you have correctly talked to each member, you will get a small cutscene again. Spam through the dialogue and then head back to the dock. Take the boat this time to MyRQ. Once you are done traveling with the boat, climb into the city and head for the start of the agility course, which is north and slightly west. There, you will find a ladder, climb it, and then follow me through the agility course. Once you are down this ladder, you are done with the agility course. Head north through these buildings. Keep heading north now and slightly east, and you should come across a gold door. Enter it, then enter the next door, and then climb down the ladder. In the basement, you should find Saffron. Speak with him, and he should start a cutscene. After the cutscene, you will have to fight a Bloodveld. Kill it and then speak to Saffron again. After you speak to him, head slightly west and search both bookcases in the next room. You should find a book. Go back to speak to Saffron and give him the book, then head back to the graveyard. The fastest way, I think, is to use the Mauritania legs to teleport back to Berg de Rot and then go south to the docks. Once you are back at the graveyard, speak to Hertz and Venescula. After that dialogue, get back on the boat and head back to Meyer Q. Once in the city, head north again and trade Trader Sivan. Buy a Vire Watch disguise, all 3 pieces. Then head across the street and down the ladder. Speak to the first guy right in front of you there in the basement, and he will tell you how to scent your disguise. After this, head back to the graveyard and speak with Veniscula. After you speak to her, use your medallion to get back to Sleepy and talk to Hertz. He should be back outside the church where we started the quest. He will take you to another fight against a 204 boss. Make sure you have your flail equipped and the armor I told you about, especially the Serp Helm, because this boss can poison you. The fight overall is super easy. I prayed magic and piety and simply killed him by hitting him. I didn't even use any food. You can put the flames out he spreads across the room if it gets to that, because that will boost your DPS, but otherwise it's a simple tank and spank. After the fight, talk to Hertz again. This is crucial, because if you don't talk to him, you won't be able to progress any further. After you've spoken to him, then head back to the graveyard using your Mauritania legs again. Once back at the graveyard, speak to Hertz and Veniscula again. Then equipped all of your disguise and head for Darkmire. To get to Darkmire, I went to Marikyu and ran through the agility course again. Once through the agility course, head north until you reach this crack in the wall. Once here, crawl through and then head through the city to the Arboretum. Once you're at the Arboretum, click the door which will prompt you to speak to the guard. After speaking to him, head back to the entrance area of the city. Before the entrance, stop at this shop and speak to Mordan. After speaking to Mordan, head north to the prison, which is here on the map. Once here, speak to the prisoners and that will prompt a cutscene. Spam through the cutscene until it is over. After the cutscene, head back to the Arboretum and enter it this time. Once inside, click on the shelves and read the old note. It should tell you how much water is needed to cut the tree and how much water comes out of each valve. Do the math for your account since each account has a unique amount needed. For me, I needed 36 gallons of water to cut the tree. The north valve released 7 gallons of water per unit, and the south valve released 4 gallons of water per unit. Thus, I chose option 4 on the north valve, releasing 28 gallons total, and 2 on the south valve, releasing 8 gallons total, thus summing for the total of 36 gallons. After you have figured out the amount of gallons needed, cut the tree 8 times because you will need 8 logs. Once you have 8 logs, teleport back to the graveyard with the mort legs and then speak to Hertz and Veniscula. They will send you back to Meredith, specifically Old Man Rail's house, which is the house with the hideout under it. There, speak to Vertida to learn how to make the upgraded flail. After speaking to him, take a scythe out of the box to the north. Then use your ruby on the scythe. Then enchant the scythe with the runes on the standard spellbook. Then combine the scythe with the last log you should have. Then combine the scythe with the flail. After you have made the flail, head back to the graveyard and speak to the group. Then go north until you find Safflon and then speak with him. Spam through the cutscene with him and then teleport back to Borg Dorat to bank for the final fight. The setup I am using for gear is the setup I recommended at the start of the video. It is crucial here that you have the Flail, because you won't do damage without it. As for your inventory, just bring as many Cerebrews and Restores as you can and you should be fine. Once you are set up, go back to the graveyard and talk to the group to start the fight. The fight starts with a cutscene that you have to watch, so don't click out of it. To start the fight, pray Protect from Mage and Piety. The boss only has 3 attacks in his first phase. The first is his summon minion. This minion will chase you around the room until it runs into you. Just tank this attack since it only hits for 40 damage. His second attack turns your screen black and will damage you for up to 40 if you are right next to him. To avoid this attack, simply step away from him. His third attack summons a blood orb on the ground. Lure him onto it to aid you in the fight against him, but make sure you don't touch it. If you do, it will hit you for up to 40. I didn't really follow a single one of these mechanics in the first phase, and I still finished with 8 brews, so I'm telling you about them, but they're ultimately not that important if you have a max main. After you defeat his first phase, the boss will heal 200 HP and go into his second phase. In this phase, he only has one attack, which is to summon lightning onto certain tiles that you are standing on. To dodge this, simply move away from the tiles that are marked. After you hit him for 200 more HP, he will die, and that will end the quest. Congratulations, you completed the new quest, Sins of the Father. Make sure to use that XP on runecrafting, and please go down below and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the guide. I know it was a bit scuffed at certain parts of the guide, but try and remember, I try and get these guides out the same day as the quest is released so people can rush the content, so give me the benefit of the doubt on some of those simple mistakes. But that being said, I really do appreciate the love and support you guys have been giving me so far. Also, my Discord link is in the description. I just started it, so I would really love if you guys could join, come chat, and share any content you want. Also remember, leave a comment down below telling me what you think I can improve on or things you overall liked about the guide. And with that in mind, remember my name is Jamie, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace! I do it for the